So you've recently finished interviewing, but you couldn't tell how the interview went, and the interviewer was kind of hard to read. Or maybe it's been a few days since you finished your interview and you still haven't heard back from the recruiter and you're not quite sure what to think or how the interview went. Don't worry, in this video, we're going to give you 6 signs that your interview went well and you can sleep easy. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click subscribe down below for more free career content. Before we dive into the 6 signs that your interview went well, I first want to dispel the myth that having an engaged or interested interviewer is a good sign. Just because they were leaning in when you were talking, smiling, nodding their head when you were making key points, it doesn't necessarily mean that your interview went well. From doing interviews myself and coaching others, I can tell you from experience that that's only a sign that your interviewer is being nice and is trying to give you a really good candidate experience. It doesn't mean that you're crushing the interview. Like, have you ever been on a date and you thought it went really well, but the person never called you back or texted you back and you're not really sure what happened? This is kind of like the same thing. So one of the 6 proven signs that your interview actually went well is if your interview went over time, or the interviewer offered more time with you one-on-one to ask more questions and speak to them some more. If your interview stops exactly on time, then that probably just means they're being polite and they want to give you the amount of time that was promised, but they aren't interested in moving you forward because they don't want to invest more time in you. The second sign that your interview has gone well is if the recruiter calls you back with an update either that same day or the next business day. This means that they're really excited about you after your interview and the team doesn't want to wait for other candidates to finish interviewing and they want to move you along in the process as fast as possible. Now, this leads me perfectly into the third sign, which is if your interviewer asks you if you're interviewing at any other companies at the end of your interview. Now, if they're asking you this question at the end of the interview, it's a good sign because that means you really impressed them and they're worried that they're going to lose you to another company or one of their competitors. If they ask you if you're interviewing at another company at the beginning or the early stages of your interview, then that just means it's standard procedure and it doesn't mean anything. Now, the 5th sign that your interview went really well is if the interviewer gives you very long answers and explanations when you ask them questions at the end of your interview. They could be talking about the team, the role, the company, the culture, and much more. Now, this is especially true if it sounds like their answers are really trying to sell you on the role and convince you that this role or team or company is fantastic. If they didn't like you, then their answers to your questions will typically be short because they don't want to waste more time talking to you. Now, the 6th and final sign of a very good interview is if they're giving you impromptu or unplanned introductions to other members of the team. This is usually only possible with on-site or physical interviews, which can be a little bit difficult right now at the time of filming because of COVID. But if you do get introductions to other people on the team that you weren't expecting, even virtually, that's a really good sign. Or if you're physically in the office walking around and they start to introduce you to other people that you may be working with as you're going through your office tour or wrapping up your interviews, that's a really good sign too. If you ever hear, actually, I think you need to meet this person. Or if you're finishing up an interview and they say, actually, I want you to meet so-and-so. Please stay right here. Don't leave. Very good signs. This is a good sign because it basically means they're willing to vouch for you and have given you their seal of approval. Now, I just want to point out that all 6 of these signs that we've covered in this video so far are signs that one interview has gone well. Most companies make hiring decisions based on the consensus or the entire interview process. So just because one interview went really well and you see these signs, it doesn't always guarantee that all of your interviews have gone well and you're going to get an offer. If you like this video, please give us one of these thumbs up because it does take a lot of time to research, plan, script, film, and edit all of these videos. Also, if you want to ace your next interview, get promoted, or switch careers, make sure you click subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.